Happy New Year, everybody. We're back. It's Recine Time. Winter break is over. We're done. This week of lounging around and drinking beer and eating cheese, it's done. We're not doing it anymore. It is back to work. Time for work. Time for hustles. Time for hustling. Time for profit, time for growing our businesses, time for building power. We need to build power. We need to acquire money and build power. Everybody out there in Recine Nation, I hope you're thinking about how you're going to accumulate. Let's accumulate some money. Let's accumulate some power. Okay. I want to build power. I want to see what that looks like. I want to start. I want people to think about how we can just even for fun. Let's build some power. I'm tired of being, fragmented and splintered. I want us to get together and accumulate and pool our money together. I want us to start stealing goods from the store. I want us to start stealing goods and putting them in a warehouse so we have resources for our group. And I want to just start, just start building power like the Italians did a long time ago, and maybe we can bring back the glory days of the Italian Empire, which was the New York City Mafia. Let's think about how to make that happen.
You have autism.
What's wrong with that? I'm passionate about stuff. I don't wish you would do anything.
I can't control you.
Welcome back. Thanks for listening. Thank you to everybody who listens to the show and supports on Patreon. You can support us on Patreon. If you go to patreon.com/Recine Time, you get a bonus episode every single week. I saw something very beautiful I had a very beautiful experience last night. We'll get back in this a little bit more later, but I went to a Philadelphia 76ers game. The halftime show was an old Chinese woman on a unicycle. This woman had to be this. It was unbelievable what I saw last night. I don't know why this woman doesn't do the Super Bowl. Okay. I don't give a crap. I don't give a crap about Justin Bieber and Bad Bunny and Kendrick Lamar and all these jokers. I don't care about these jokers. This woman she had to be, and she comes out, and it's interesting because it's a bunch of Philadelphia sports fans. Okay, imagine, if you will, an arena full of Philadelphia sports fans, and there's an old Chinese woman on a unicycle. Standing next to her is the mascot of the team, and he's carrying bowls. Okay, little cereal bowls. This lady is on the unicycle. I don't even remember her name. Isn't that crazy? Some of the greatest things I've ever seen. Nobody ever remembers the name of the people who impress us, who entertain us. I don't know why that is. I don't know why people don't. But this lady comes out. She goes onto the court. She's got a bowl. Imagine, if you will. She's handed a bowl by the Philadelphia team. She takes one of her feet. She's pedaling the unicycle. Okay, she's pedaling around. She's pedaling around the court.
Red Panda. That's her.
Yes,
name.
her name was Red Panda. How did you find that?
I googled it.
Okay, so he hands her one bowl. Okay, she goes from pedaling around, and she's going around and around and around. He hands her a bowl. She balances the bowl between her foot and her ankle. Okay, and she kicks the bowl up in the air. And where do you think the bowl lands? Right on her freaking head. Okay, nice, interesting, cool. Okay, this is cool. This is not exactly what I was expecting for the halftime show, but that was certainly cool. The show goes on. The guy gives the mascot hands her 2 bowls. Okay, she puts 2 bowls. She puts one bowl on her foot, and she puts the other bowl. So she puts the bowls like this. Okay, so they're like kind of going like that. right? One bowl is facing up, one bowl is facing down. Kicks the bowls. Those two bowls land on her head. All right? Now you know where this is going, okay? We don't have to. We're gonna move this story along, kind of like like a Sean Baker movie. We're gonna move it along, but let me just get to the climax of the show. Michelle, how many freaking bowls do you think this lady? How many bowls do you think this woman balanced on her ankle and then shot up onto her freaking head? 5. Wow. But 5 bowls. She's got to be on YouTube or something. I mean, I was literally blown away. Okay, 5 goddamn bowls on her ankle. She's already now. Keep in mind at this point, right? She's already balancing like 7 bowls on her freaking head because she did it like a few times, and so she's got her ankle. She's on the unicycle. She's got her ankle up like this. She's got new socks I got for Christmas, by the way. My mom said, here's some new... Sorry. What's the matter? Why are you making that face?
Just the bottom of them look a little...
Yeah, I know. Yeah, no, my floors are kind of disgusting. I don't know how to clean my floors. But anyway, so this lady... Okay, so I won't put my foot on your table again, but I'm going to show... All right, the foot. She's got bowl facing up, bowl facing down, bowl facing up, bowl facing down, bowl facing up. She's got 5 bowls balancing. She's got 5 bowls on her leg and like 7 bowls on her head. And, I don't have to tell you guys what happens next. You can figure this out. Flip, boom, the bowls, 5 bowls land on her head. 5 bowls land on this lady's head. Okay? Now, my takeaway from this is that we really do live in a beautiful country. We live in an awesome country where a bunch of Philadelphia sports fans can all sit in this arena and be mesmerized by this Chinese woman flipping bowls on her head. I'm like, how did she even get to this point? She's not young, by the way. And my dad said that. And I think the guys behind us said that too. They're like, this lady's not a spring chicken. And I can't imagine there's a lot of money in it. I can't imagine it's like, I can't imagine that it's something that pays the bills right away. I would imagine you have to toil in obscurity for a long time. But I'll tell you what else I saw. I saw when we were coming into the arena, we passed, because all the arenas in Philly are like right next to each other. So we passed the Eagle Stadium, and I do see Shane Gillis is coming to the Eagle Stadium, which is, that's great. Good for him. Awesome. But why not? Why can't this lady fill up an arena? It's kind of odd. I don't know if being a comedian is fun. It's a fun thing to do, and hey, if you can make money at this, if you can be successful at, God bless you. But I'm just wondering, I just find it interesting that this woman is not. Why isn't Shane Gillis opening for Red Panda? Why isn't it Red Panda at the Eagle Stadium with special guest Shane Gillis? Mm-hmm. And why is he the one why is his name on the marquee and not hers? I know he's a good athlete. I'm not saying Shane's not a good athlete. And I just imagined her, and I was like, does this woman have the support of her family? Does her?
Yes. Sorry, I have all the answers. She's a fourth generation acrobat.
And
her father designed the bowls.
Get out of here.
He came up with the size and dimensions for them.
Because I was just picturing because they say Magic Johnson was always practicing basketball. He was always out in his backyard shooting hoops. And I was just imagining a woman, out in her backyard. Her mom's like, it's time for school. Come on. Why don't you? You have to be a doctor. And she's just on a unicycle, just surrounded by shards of bowls. Just like you got to lock up the cereal bowl cabinet, or she will. Now, why is her name Red Panda though? That seems a little. Did somebody give her that name? Somebody in show business tell her to do that? So listen, we live in an amazing country. I have to say. I mean, the people here are cool. I guess I didn't even think I liked Philadelphia sports teams. But that's where I want to start with this episode. We do live in a nice country. I used to go to, like, my dad would take us to games sometimes. I think we went to a 76ers game because his company had like a box, and so he would like take his clients to games, and he would always my brother kind of liked basketball, but I'm somebody who I don't really watch sports. I can't sit down and watch a whole basketball game. I don't really know what I'm watching, Yeah. And people will talk about the game, and I don't know. So my dad would give us he'd give me these lectures before we went into the box. He'd be like, "You guys got to watch the game, okay? You're not just going to sit there and eat chicken fingers," because there's like a buffet. So I would just go nuts, in front of my dad's clients. My dad was trying to take his clients to the basketball game, and he's like, "Yeah, these are my kids over here. This one likes basketball, and this one likes chicken fingers." So I remember one time we were leaving the arena, and there was a lot of traffic. And my dad's Italian, okay? So we're leaving the arena, and there's like a ton of traffic, and my dad's got kind of a short fuse, and he's like, this traffic is. He goes, "God, this traffic's terrible." I bet that has something to do with the black mayor of Philadelphia, because there was a black guy who was the mayor of Philadelphia, and I remembered that last night. I was like, I remember when that happened, and I was kind of making myself laugh because I was like, just imagining the mayor being like, "Yeah, fuck that motherfucking traffic up. Yeah, put them motherfucking cones there and fuck these crackers up. Fuck 95 up." But anyway, so yeah, we live in a nice country. The world is an interesting place. The world is an interesting, beautiful, fascinating place. People are fascinating. People are different. People have all different kinds of values. And the government is run by crazy people. Our government is, we're ruled by pedophiles. But people are interesting. The world is interesting. The world is fascinating. Saturday morning we all woke up to the news that Venezuela was bombed and that the president was kidnapped. Okay, we all said, "Oh, that's not good." But we also all said, "Oh, interesting. Some of those influencers, some of these influencers that are paid by the DNC." All these influencers who were like very pro-Palestine because they have to be, but then a couple of them were like, well, but Maduro is bad, Chavez and socialism are bad, and I said, this is good. These people have I hope these people have an egg on their faces this morning. So they bombed Venezuela. They kidnapped Maduro. They bombed Hugo Chavez's grave. So everybody was kind of talking about that. So Monday morning, I dropped my kid off at preschool, and I went over to the courthouse where he's being held. Same place. It's in Lower Manhattan. It's near the Brooklyn Bridge. There's cameras everywhere. There's media people, and there's a protest. And there's two sides of the protest. I walk past all the media and all the camera people, all the news anchors. There's a lady there from Fox who's got her microphone, and she's an older lady with like long hair and and I overhear her go, she goes, "The leader of the notorious gang Trenderagua." And I said, "That's interesting. I want to hear some more of that." And I walked by and I said, "You're lying to my grandma." But anyway, so I go to the so I walk behind where these protests are. The protesters are separated by ideology, which I thought was kind of interesting.
Well, the cops usually separate
Right.
us. Like if there's two sides, they won't let them mix.
How do they do that though? That's kind of interesting because there was a barrier. There were like barriers set up, and there were cops between everybody. Yeah. So it's interesting that it's interesting that some NYPD cop is like, all right, pro Maduro people over here, anti Maduro people over here. So at first
he knows everything about.
Yeah.
He screens them. He's like, all right. Yeah, what do you believe the role of sanctions plays in this conflict? Okay, on to the left.
Folks, if you listen to Chapo Trap House over here, if your dad owns a mine over here. And it was just very interesting watching these two groups of people. At first I just noticed there were like the left-wing people and the right. So there were like, okay, so there's this group of pro Maduro people, and they're all protesting, and they're saying we demand the immediate release of Nicolas Maduro. And there's probably about 40 of them. There's probably 30, 40 of them. Okay. It is sad because I was like, all right, I don't think any of these people work out, like none of them looked like they had a ton of upper body strength. I'm like, if there was a fight, I don't think any of these people could scrap and throw down. But there was a guy who was speaking who was like, my name is, like Victor, whatever. I'm from a group called the Bronx Anti-War Coalition. I go, oh, that's cool. There's some people are organizing a little bit. Maybe I could join a group like that. Then I'm like, it's in the Bronx. There's no way I just can't get up to the Bronx. I can't do anything these days that doesn't put money directly in my pocket. So yeah, I'm just looking at everybody and I'm like, okay, that guy over here is like 50 years old. This lady's like in her, late 40s. Most of them are wearing keffiyehs. They have septum piercings, but I'm trying to not, I don't want to make fun of them, obviously. I don't want to make fun of the left. Because it's important that somebody has to get out here and demand the immediate release of Nicolas Maduro. Somebody has to do it. And is it a waste of time? That's not what I would do with my time. That's not how I would choose to spend my Monday at 10 a.m. I'm like, you want to assume the best about everybody. So I'm just assuming that these people work nights, I'm like, I don't know why. Like, I don't know why they have the day off from work. Monday, 10 a.m. I'm like, these are like the special forces of the left. But it's interesting because when you hear about people talk about like the far left and the far right, it's like, oh, this is kind of what they're talking about, because all the people on the left, it's like they're not very strong. Like I said, they probably don't have guns. They probably would, if someone wanted to purge them, they could purge them very easily. But I'm also thinking at the same time, like, I can't make fun of these people. These people are very principled. Like, somebody has to, if you want change and if you want this country to get better, right, somebody has to lead the charge. Unfortunately, it's just people with like 9 different disabilities who don't have jobs. Those are like the leaders of our movement. And like when people make fun of the left or trash the left, you got to go, all right, yeah, you got me, Yeah, you got me. I mean, they all have nice keffiyehs that they didn't get on Amazon. They got them from a specialty. They waited 6 weeks for them to come from the West Bank because the keffiyeh makers were on back order. I'm like, these are very principled, honorable people who are like clearly sacrificing, having any kind of disposable income or being able to get a girlfriend or having good relationships with their families. I mean, these people are very committed to what they believe in, which is like freeing Nicolas Maduro. And you don't want to be like, oh, this is a waste of your time, but you are kind of like, guys, it's 10 o'clock on a Monday. Like, I can't be here. I have to go. I have to go send some emails or something. I literally have to go to I have to go to Starbucks. I have to break the Starbucks boycott and open up my laptop and start typing. I can't be here. I can't do this. But then the next thing I notice is the anti-Maduro people. The anti-Maduro people are like screaming. They're like screaming at the people on the other side. And there's one guy going like, "Asesino comunista! Asesino comunista!" And then there was like another guy, and they're all wearing Trump hats, and they just start chanting "Viva Donald Trump." And they all have like shorter haircuts. Okay, they all have like fresh haircuts, and they get their hair cut regularly, and they have and they gel their hair, right? And they I guess they care a little bit more about their appearance. I think objectively, you kind of have to admit they're better looking than the people who are demanding Maduro's release right now. And like I said, you don't want to make fun. Somebody's got to lead the charge. But then there was a guy who was particularly tall and loud, and he was just going like, "Yay, you didn't make the football team. You didn't make the soccer team." It's like, and that's another thing where you go, God, damn it. I guess you're right. But I was wearing my keffiyeh hat. Okay. Yeah, I just happened to be wearing it. But I was kind of like, man, I really wish I could get some interviews with these anti-Maduro people, because the anti-Maduro people are like, they just remind you of Israelis. You know when Israelis are just, when you see Israelis and they're just holding the flag, being like, "I'm gonna kill all you." Some old lady being like, it's like you can tell by their body language. But then it's like the people on the left weren't, it's like, what is it about being on the left where we're not ready for a fight? Like, what is it about, like, when you're a leftist, you're just like, peace, hey, peace and love and principles. That's why the world is so interesting, because it's like the left doesn't really fight. But yeah, and then the guy, like the big guy, there's a big guy in a Trump hat, so everybody starts going, "Viva Donald Trump, Viva Donald Trump." And I've never really encountered like right wing Latinos before, or like white Latinos before, but they're so aggressive, and they're aggressive in a way that like leftist people are not. There's just something inherently not aggressive. Yeah. Like, you never hear, whenever you see like a kid in Gaza being interviewed, right? Mm-hmm. They're always like, "I just want to be a doctor someday. I lost my whole family, but I just want to be a doctor someday." How come they're not like, "I will fucking kill every single, I will be Hitler 2.0. Like, how come I'm just saying, like, how come the left is inherently, there's something that's almost like innately like peaceful about the left? Because what do we think that we believe in on the left? We believe in equality, and we like people, we like everybody, and we want justice, and we want blah blah blah, and we're not vindictive, and we're not we don't have that fervor, we don't have that, like, there's whereas you're looking at these anti-Maduro people, these, ostensibly like anti-communist people. There's something about that where the one guy in the Trump hat was like, "And you know what? And I take care of my people, and if anybody messes with you, I'm going to go and beat them up." Like, he was just like, it's very much like posturing, and it's kind of like, and it just got me thinking, because I'm like, it's great to be on the left. It's great to be principled. It's great to stand up for people, but it also like doesn't pay your bills. You do have to get out there. You do have to put yourself out there, and you got to be like you. Like, you have those qualities where you're like a very hard worker, and you're like, "I'm gonna do this. I'm gonna do that." You're not passive. You're like, "I have to work. I have to hustle." I'm just saying, when you think about how to be a perfect human being like Jesus Christ, if you met Jesus, if you went back in time and you saw Jesus, would you be impressed by his physique? Would he be like doing push-ups and dips all the time, or would he be like a more, laid back? Yeah, like a laid back, like would he have like a septum piercing and like really skinny arms? And that's why I just think the world is so interesting, because you gotta have both. You gotta be kind, you gotta be good, you gotta be principled, but at the same time you also have to like, feed your kids. You got to get up in the morning and say, hey, we got hoodies available. But then I'm looking at these anti-Maduro people, and I'm like, they're not at work. So what are they doing today? How come they don't have a job? But maybe they're getting paid to be there. But then like that's better than, in some ways, right? That's better than being on the left side of the protest and being 65 years old and going home to your 5 roommates, going home to an illegal loft in Bushwick that doesn't have heat. But at least you went and at least you went and demanded the immediate release of Nicolas Maduro. I don't know. People are interesting. The world's an interesting place, and I'm like, what's the takeaway here? Because I thought it was fascinating, and I'm like, all these people, they're all chanting "Viva Donald Trump." Then the left started chanting back. They started chanting "Fuck Donald Trump." But there wasn't that same like fervor to it. There wasn't that juice, So they're all saying fuck Donald Trump, and then somebody goes, Trump's a pedophile, and then they kind of shut up for a second, which is cool. Yeah, that was fun. But there's something about the left where you go like, we need a little more. We need a little bit. I was watching this video of Hassan Nasrallah, on Twitter, and he was giving a speech, and he was basically saying like, listen, nobody gives a fuck. You can't appeal. If you're weak, no one cares. They're going to kill you. We have to like build some power. We have to defend ourselves. And I think that like that's important. I think we got to think about power. And so I got to figure out my erectile dysfunction and why I haven't woken up with an erection. No, I'm just but
aren't you supposed to wake up with an erection every day?
If you are, I need to see a doctor immediately. Yeah, that's what they say, but I don't know. I need to go to the emergency room right now. Michelle, stop the show. Michelle, please call 911 right now. They just dragged me out of here in a stretcher. They're just like, clear. They just put those things on my crotch. We gotta get this guy an erection right now. Yeah. So I don't know what that is, but that hasn't happened to me since like high school. So I don't know. Must be in the Parmesan cheese I'm eating. You gotta start thinking about how much can you bench? Okay, that's great. We're on the left, We're on the left, but the idea of being on the left is that you advocate and you stick up, you protect the people who can't protect themselves, right? Child slaves, children, girls, So I want to see a left that, and if you can't get to the gym, just get a gun. But you got to either get to the gym or get a gun. I want to see more of a Hassan Nasrallah style leftism, I want to start thinking about, just, hard power, baby. Hard power. I want you to reach out to Blue Chew and see if they'll do a sponsorship for us.
Mike Recine is building hard power.
Mike Recine is building hard power on the left. Go to bluechew.com for your free trial. Who are like the strong? Are there strong? Do the left have strong men? I guess like Che, but it's rare. It's rare that anybody is on the left and like not like a pussy. It's rare that people are on the left and not a. It's not a put. So that's my. I guess that's what I've been thinking about a lot lately. But there is something innately kind of. There is something innately kind of passive, right, about being on the left.
I know what you're saying. There's a disorganized left in this country. And whenever you do see like large mobilizations, like, you know, like the No Kings thing, that was like, that was basically marching for
Join
the
the
status
Patreon
quo.
to figure out what she said.
So yes, you're right that there's no like organized left that can compete with populism right now. So like we're bad. We're on the internet. We're not in the streets. Like that's all
Yeah.
true. But it's also
We don't
true.
suck that much. I mean, we are good people.
Right. But my point is, as the left, we also have been the victims of decades of like really organized repression from the state, anti-union activity from both parties, counterinsurgency on the internet, like trying to divide everyone over culture issues and all this stuff.
Yeah.
And that the target of that always has been the left. And all of the surveillance on the internet, the target of that has always been to make sure the left doesn't organize. So like, it's true that we're not organized and we suck, but that's not by accident. That's because like an organized left is the only threat to the status quo. And so there's been tons and tons of organizations literally dedicated to making sure the left doesn't organize.
Right.
You know, through NGOs and, you know, government agencies and all that stuff.
Right. Because I'm not throwing stones. Like I don't want to come off being like, look at these pussies on the left. But I want to see a little more, you know, a little more juice, a little more alpha males. And if you're an alpha male, listen, and if you're on the left and let's say you're a leftist and you've never worked out before and you start lifting weights, don't go to the others. Stay over here. And I think we just need to and I'm sure this has come up like in history before or whatever. But I just kind of think that we need to like purge the nerds a little bit. You know? What were Stalin and Trotsky fighting about? Was it something like this?
Working out?
Yeah. Stalin was like, look at me, look how many push-ups I can do. And Trotsky was like, that's a little fash, actually. It's actually kind of fash to do push-ups. I'm not impressed by your push-ups, I just want to say. And I've seen Rania talk about that. Like she's been like, I work out all the time and like we need to do push-ups. I agree with that. But we also need to like protect the people who like can't do push-ups and don't want to do push-ups. You know what's annoying though? Every time I do squats, because I'm trying to like work my way back to get to lifting, and I did a set of squats today. I did 10 and I was like, fine. I added more weight and then I did like 12 with more weight. And then I did a third set. I went down and my hamstrings got tight. And I'm like, damn, I might actually need protection. I might be the guy who needs the left to protect me. I feel like I could take Hassan in a fight. I feel like he might be strong. He's probably definitely bigger than me. He might be stronger than me, but I'm more like ruthless. I just think I would like to. I just want to put this out there. If Hassan is watching, I want the opportunity to fight Hassan Piker for the position of being the leader of the left. And Hassan, you get your body, and I get a beer bottle. Yeah, power, guns, lifting weights, and but then you get to a point where you're like, oh, we're strong. But you got to lift weights, but also think about the people who can't lift weights or just don't want to lift weights because, like I said, you know, they have 9 disabilities and they're getting money from the government. Right. And that's why they can go protest in their wheelchair. I guess I'm kind of exaggerating, but I guess we do need to purge the people with disabilities. We need to purge them from the left. I'm just kidding.
And I guess we kind of need to purge them from the earth. I don't know.
I guess we kind of need to think about some kind of philosophy where we breed them out of existence, where they're not bred anymore, and we stop them from reproducing. Yeah.
And it's about focusing on you. Like it could be called
eugenics. Yeah. Yeah, eugenics. That's exactly it. So anyway, moving on, I go to Philly yesterday, and I drive down. It's nice little drive, a little over 2 hours. Throw on some YouTube clips and check those out, and then I get to my sister's house. Okay, my sister, she's my baby sister. She's 33. Yeah, she's older than you. She's my baby sister. That's odd. But you know, I'm very proud of her. She lives in this part of Philadelphia called Fishtown that's like offensively gentrified. Like they just put the gentrification right in your face. Like it's a very working class, like row house neighborhood, like these like narrow roadhouses. But then you'll see a store called like the Cookie Factory or something, like right, like, you know, Pretzel Town, and it's like purple font. It's like it's almost like insulting. I don't think New York is that gentrified. It was like there's like a fish market or something.
This sounds like, you know, like one of those fake like real estate neighborhoods, like Clinton Hill.
Right,
You know?
right. Is that fake?
Well, it's Bed-Stuy.
Oh, I didn't know that.
White people didn't want to move to Bed-Stuy.
I didn't know that. I didn't know Clinton Hill was fake.
Oh yeah, you're from Jersey.
Yeah.
Yeah, I always forget that. I always think you're from here.
No, but Clinton Hill is in that Jay-Z song. They're like Brooklyn's Finest, where they're like naming all the neighborhoods.
Well,
and they're like Red Hook, Bushwick, Jay-Z, and Biggie Smalls. And half of them are like, yeah, gentrified. And they're like Clinton Hill. What else do they say? Red Hook, Bushwick, Canarsie. So my sister lives in this like pretty new kind of row house. But man, I walk into her place and it's like, it's clean. It's beautiful. She's got nice furniture. She's got like a pot on the stove, and she's boiling like cinnamon sticks and like grapefruit to make her house like smell nice. You know, she like got everything together because my cousin from Italy came to visit. So we all went to like a basketball game. My cousin Daniele from Italy. But I'm like, man, she's got this really nice house, and I'm proud of her, you know, because she's got a nice house. Like it's beautiful in here. She's got like I don't know if I don't want to. Your mom probably didn't do this, but moms will sometimes take like an orange and stick cloves in them to make the house smell nice. Like she does have a very nice, you know, nice house, nice life.
oh yeah, this is the sister you talked to on the Patreon, right?
The sister I talked to on the Patreon, yeah, when I had to investigate my family. So then, and she likes to cook, and she's been making bread recently because she's unemployed. And my mom and dad go down and visit her like all the time, and you know, so and then she likes to cook, and she's got all these like hardcover cookbooks on her kitchen counter, and she's got this one right in the middle of all her cookbooks. She's got this book called Israeli Soul, and I open it up and I start looking through it, and I just start shaking my head. I go, ugh, what do you have this in your house for? You know? She's like, I bought it before all the stuff went down. And so I'm just looking through this book, and they're like, oh yeah, there's a whole chapter on shawarma, you know, and they're like, why did Sephardic food take precedent over Ashkenazi food? But then I kind of started like, I tried to like explain that to her, and you know, I explained like, you know, colonization and everything. But I'm like, this book is nice. It's nice. We've talked about this before. Israel's a nice story, nice idea. You know, that big plot of land right near the ocean. It was totally, they had to invent hummus. So all this stuff that happens with Maduro, right? With Venezuela. The conversation that you see online is kind of like, who's even buying this stuff? Who even wants this? No American person wants this. No American's going to go along with this war, you know? Nobody even, the guy's a drug trafficker. Who even believes that? So I'm sitting next to my sister at the basketball game. We start talking and stuff. And I'm like, you know, I open the conversation by saying, you know, everybody says, oh, they're going to open this country up to foreign investors. I go, what does that mean, foreign investors? You know, just something to think about. We're going to open it up to foreign investors. So does that mean that, like, so we know what that means. It means other people keep the money. Other people come in and take the money. You know, people like my dad who invested in Halliburton before the Iraq War and made some money. And got my retarded brother an in-ground pool for him to swim in so he doesn't kill us.
So actually, it's ableist.
So like
if
I said,
you're against the Iraq War.
It's actually ableist if you're against the Iraq War, because what, you don't want my brother to have a pool? Well, okay, yes, a lot of people died, but my brother got a pool to swim in. That was good for his nervous system. It was good for our family. So it's almost like you need to listen to people with disabilities and accept that some of us got pools because of the Iraq War. Okay, so just listen to. But that's another thing about the Venezuela stuff, where I'm glad that this identity politics shit is over, because that's not really working anymore. They kind of overplayed their hand with that stuff, being like, why don't you listen to people from
Venezuela?
To people from the country? Yeah, and they do that with Cuba and stuff.
It's just meant to shut anyone down, because you could listen to Venezuelans. Okay, which ones? There are a lot that are communists.
Right.
Listen to Cubans. Yeah, which ones?
And we've listened to that horse shit for so long that like we know it's horse shit. Most people are kind of like pushing back. With the Hillary stuff, it was really bad too. Like 2015, 2016, it was like, I mean, I even remember being like, oh no, am I white guy? Am I Bernie broing too hard? Am I white guying too hard? Am I speaking over? And now I'm just like, no, I'm not actually. I should be speaking more, and I should be silencing more women. I should actually be speaking over more women because I have better stuff to say. And you know what? The takeaway from Hillary's campaign is that I'm a proud white man. I'm a proud white man who should be talking more. Sorry to the liberal feminists, but it's going to be white boy summer, as Chet Hanks
Wasn't that
said.
like 3 years ago?
Yeah, it was like 5. Man, time goes by fast. But all this bullshit about fucking listen to these people and I think they totally overplayed their hand. And they also used it to justify a genocide. I wonder if the Germans ever tried that, though. Like, listen to Germans as they were doing the Holocaust. They would have been like, just speak up for your German friends, please. Your German friends are really scared right now. So that's over. So silence more women is my message. Build power, work out, get guns, and silence more women. So anyway, I start talking to my sister, and I'm like, what is this stuff about? They said they're going to open this stuff up to, because obviously nobody believes this guy is a drug trafficker. You have to be an idiot. You have to be an idiot to think this guy's a drug trafficker. But then it also got me thinking, like, man, look at my sister with her nice house. She's got a freaking 2-bedroom house in Philadelphia. She's got a 2-bedroom house in Philadelphia. So I'm like, who am I to be like lecturing her? Who am I to like?
If you started believing in more of that corporate media stuff, like a house would appear in Clinton Hill, by the way.
Right.
And you'd be like, I don't even know what Bed-Stuy is.
That is kind of one of my dreams, though, to sell out and buy a brownstone in like Cobble Hill and just put a big American flag outside.
You can literally just tweet, we need to listen to more women. And like, you will be in a brownstone. You'll look around.
You think? It's not even like you think you're lying, because you convince yourself that it's true. I could just build a home.
Like, actually, yeah, like he is a narco trafficker.
Yeah.
Now you have a grill.
Well, I have a grill, but I would like a nicer one. I would like a green egg. Do you know about the green egg? It's like a ceramic like cooker. It's like the best. It's like the best grill. It's like a porcelain. It's a ceramic. And you know what's nice about it? In the city, you're not really going to use one that much. But it's got amazing like temperature control. So this thing, it can get like up to 700 degrees and as low as like 225. So if you want to do like low and slow cooking, like it has amazing like heat control. So you put all your coals on the bottom, you light your coals, and then it's got like the valves on top of it. So it's like with like the flick of a wrist, you can just, but there's actual fire in it on the bottom. You're like cooking with actual fire and actual coals, but you're adjusting the temperature like really easily. I know, I'm pissed that no one's ever put the money in front of my face. I want the chance to sell out, you know?
Yeah, you could be like, oh, like, it's bad that Trump did this, but Maduro's a bad guy. And you have like the green egg mini. And then you go, actually, it's not bad that Trump did this. And you have the green egg max.
Yeah. Actually, let's kick all the immigrants out of our country. And then I have the biggest one. I mean, Jimmy Dore's got what, a $3 million house? I think we just have to podcast more leftistly, go more left till we get attention. And then they'll put the money in front of us. And then we can talk. And then we can have a conversation. And then they're going to go, Mike and Michelle sold out. And we're going to go, I start transitioning. And I'm like, how dare you speak over an Italian American woman? But I'll be like, how dare you speak over a trans woman? No, Mike had sexual misconduct allegations. Michelle, too, does not.
Yeah, please don't bring up Mike. He's literally dead.
Mike is dead. How dare you dead name me? I'm just sitting in court like, the only issue is I'm not. Yeah, the only issue is I'm not Mike. I'm not Mike anymore. I'm just Yeah. Wait, what would my trans name be? Because we can't have two Michelle. Robin Brooks. I'll take Deb's name.
Should we do a Hebrew name?
Robin, Shayna Duty. Did you see that Israeli artist? His name was like Duty Shovel, and he was like going around. He was going around painting over Yeah, it's Shoval, and his name is spelled Dudi. His name was Duty Shovel, and he was just painting. He was painting over like pro-Palestinian murals, and he just painted like Netanyahu with like a crown on his head. Duty Shovel. Everybody's like, come on, man, it's not your name. And he's like filming himself like in front of the Palestine mural, just being like, he looks like Ronan, actually. I know I said I never.
Who that is.
I know oh, really?
Who is that?
He's like my Zionist comedian like enemy who I do have a ceasefire with.
Oh, okay.
I do have a ceasefire with him,
Okay.
but I'm just saying he looks like.
But you just broke it.
Broke
it.
I'm not saying anything negative about. I'm not saying
he looks like someone that is called poop.
You look like and he sues me. I get a lawsuit tomorrow. No, but they have the same like kind of sneer on their face. They have like the same like smirk on their face. That's not even an insult. They look similar. That's all I'm saying. So that's our 5-year plan, okay? Podcast go really far to the left, sell out, and transition. Go as far left as we can, get the dump truck full of money, and then cut my penis off. What do I even need my penis for? Yep, just scissor my wife in my $4 million brownstone. And this is why I left the left. Yeah, me and Deb just get in the Subaru. We go to Whole Foods. We yell at all the employees. We ask why there's not more variety. We spend $100 on olives, and then I make a video called "Why I Left the Left" after I park my Subaru in my garage. Isn't it funny the stuff that makes you rich in New York City? Like Paul Giamatti goes to my gym. You know what's funny though? I did have someone in my inbox this week message me and be like, they were like, you're sucking Jewish cock like a good guinea, and like you can't trust any Jews. And yeah,
Wait, like who?
If anything, I could suck a little more.
We don't have the brownstone. Clearly, you're not sucking.
Clearly, I'm not sucking enough. But he was saying like anyone who doesn't support Hitler is a fucking cuck.
Oh, because you're not literally anti-Semitic.
Yeah, and he was like, when are you gonna wake up? You can't trust any Jews, and I trust you. It's crossed my mind. It's crossed my mind here and there. You know, will Michelle betray me? But I will not. I don't care. I'll tell you what's funny. There's these two comedians. They're Jess Solomon and her ex-wife is Palestinian, and they're from Canada, and they're very like liberal. They're both like Iman is Palestinian, and Jess is very anti-Zionist. But I guess like and Jess has said this publicly, but like Iman has accused Jess of being Mossad, which I don't think you're Mossad. And you know what? If you are Mossad, we had a great time together making the show. Like if you are trying to sabotage me, whatever, we had a great time together. I don't think you're Mossad. But it's just, yeah, he's like, you can't trust any Jew. And I just want to say, I don't believe that. So miss me with it, buddy. Anyway, so back to, do you think that, are you religious at all?
No, I grew up very religious though. So I know all the rules if you have any questions.
Yeah. It seems kind of cool.
As a kid, it's great because like you do gain like good life skills and stuff. Like the like core Jewish values are good, and like you kind of learn about reasoning as a kid because you're learning the Torah. It's a lot of like analysis. If this, then that. Why is this way? Like that's good for a child's development. Right. But then like once you get older,
you learn how to put a mattress underground.
Then like second grade.
In second grade, yeah.
You got to pre-stain it.
You learn that you can get a really good deal on a mattress if there's a big brown stain on it.
It's been a full year since that. Isn't that crazy?
Yeah. Shit, I got a Charlie horse in my foot. Yeah, no answers, huh? I did see some interview somewhere where like there's this older Jewish guy and he was like, "Oh yeah, that guy coming out of the tunnel. Yeah, I know him. His name is David. He goes to my synagogue." So I'm at the game with my sister and we're talking about, you know, and I'm like, and she's like, yeah, but isn't this, because this whole week, right? Everybody's been like, nobody believes this guy's a drug trafficker. Who could even believe something like that? That's crazy. But then my sister's like, oh, but I thought that he, no, but I thought that he was. I thought he's like dealing drugs. And isn't there like a lot of fentanyl coming in to the country? And I'm like, yeah, but I'm like, but he's not, you fucking idiot. Like, but then I'm thinking like, I don't even have the information to counter that. I just hear other stuff. So I'm like, why does she think that? And then I'm like, and then she's like, yeah, but like, could they do that? She's like, are they allowed to do that? What would they have to gain? What would they have to gain? I don't understand. But that's what's interesting is like, you know, oh, she's like, but that's the problem with the news and everything, because I don't know what the information I'm getting, if it's like reliable or anything. And so I guess that kind of makes sense, because if you're being flooded with so much like bad information, then it's not always about making you believe the bad information. It's just about confusing you.
Yeah,
so that's
it's called flooding the zone.
Right. I've never heard that term before, but that's why.
Steve Bannon.
Okay, but that's why we have you on board. But I feel like most people are not ready to confront, like, yeah, most people don't have good information.
Like Iraq, Libya, Syria. Like, does she eventually get there when the status quo shifts? Like, what are her
I don't know. I don't
yeah.
think she has to like care. She made Italian wedding soup, and my cousin had like 3 bowls. He was like, "This soup is so good." It's like I don't even know how to cook anymore. I don't really even cook that much anymore because I'm just focused on this stuff. But I don't feel like most people are not ready to confront how evil U.S. foreign policy is, especially when you have a house and a job. You know, why do you? But it's just interesting that because
it works the other way too. You start saying like, oh, actually, the world needs to be freed from the U.S. No empire has ever killed so many people, destroyed so many civilizations, whatever. And then immediately your brownstone is gone and you're like standing outside naked and afraid.
Yeah. So I'm trying to think of like a metaphor for United States foreign policy. So we will be back with more show. I have to pee. So we'll be back with more show, but we can explore that a little bit.
Or do you want to just bring it over to the Patreon? Because
Are we at time?
Yeah.
Okay.
So do you want
to... Yeah. We're going over behind the paywall, everybody. Thanks for listening. And we'll see you on Patreon or next week. All right. Bye-bye.
in the way to cop sweaters. The number one question is can the feds get us? I got vendettas and dice games against ass betters and niggas who pump wheels and drive jettas. Take that with you.
Hit shots like Sinatra. Peruvians tried to do me in. I ain't paid them yet. Trying to push 700s, they ain't made them yet. Rolex and bracelets, frostbit. Rings too, niggas riding away, call me igloo stick.
Biggie Smalls, nigga, shit you draw.
Where you from?
Brooklyn going out to all.
East New York.
You don't stop.
Clinton Hills.